ACC. Sean McDonough and Shane Battier will be joined in a moment by Allison Williams. Delighted to have you with us. Big challenge for Syracuse tonight. Scuffling a bit coming in. They'll need a big performance from a guy who's one of the most improved players in the country in Rakeem Christmas.
Well, in my estimation, he is the most improved player in America. Before the season, they needed Rakeem Christmas to play big, and big he has played, averaging almost 18 and 9 on the year. He's been the guy. He's been the guy. There hasn't been much due to the front court injuries of the Orange, but he has been an absolute monster on the block and an absolute menace on the offensive boards. He will need a big effort in Christmas against the length and athleticism of the Tar Heels tonight. Now, the Tar Heels counter with their own twin towers with Bryce Johnson and Kennedy Meeks. They are outscoring their opponents by 15 points in the paint. If the Cuse want to hang in this game, they're going to have to handle their business down low and keep these big guys away from the basket.
Jim Boeheim says the size of North Carolina is definitely a concern. Here's Allison.
The battle of the bigs, certainly something to watch tonight, especially when UNC tries to attack the Syracuse zone. A couple of keys from head coach Troy Williams. He said they have to have better movement inside even without the ball. And once they get the ball inside, he wants his forwards to be aggressive, attack the basket. Don't just look to kick it back inside. Expect UNC to be very physical, very aggressive inside, guys.
North Carolina in white controlled the tip. Kennedy Meeks. Marcus Page, really their only serious three-point shooting threat. And the first rebound of the night for Rakeem Christmas. This is Trevor Cooney, one of the 4 Syracuse starters who played all 40 minutes Saturday in their home loss to Miami. They used only 6 men in that game, and here they are 2 nights later. Fatigue could be a factor. Caleb Joseph, the freshman point guard, got into trouble, and J.P. Tokido took it away for Carolina.
Both teams want to play quick, push the tempo.
Shot wouldn't go for Justin Jackson, the freshman, who's an emerging offensive threat lately. Double figures in each of the last 3 games for Justin.
Let's see if the Cuse can establish Rakeem Christmas early.
Let's give you the starting lineups, and you'll probably see only 1 sub behind Cooney, Joseph, Roberson, Benajay, and Christmas for Syracuse. That'll be Ron Patterson, a guard. Cooney short with a 3, tipped around. And Christmas looks at Tyler Roberson and said, hey, I had good inside position. You knocked it out of my hand.
Well, that's a challenge for Carolina. You got 2 pogo sticks and Christmas and Roberson. Carolina, an outstanding, elite offensive rebounding team. On the defensive boards, they've struggled this year.
And they're the best offensive rebounding team in the ACC. They rebound 43% of their own misses, but they're 13th in the league in defensive rebound. That's an interesting situation statistically that Roy Williams has mentioned on several occasions. Kennedy Meeks, and finally we have a bucket in this game, more than a minute and a half in. Michael Benajay underneath, and Christmas has 2. He's averaging 20 points per game in conference play to lead the ACC in league games. Cooney to take away. Joseph all alone, bounced it off his foot. Looked up to the bucket and had it go off his leg and out of bounds. So he's had a couple of sloppy turnovers, and he's getting the hook from the chagrin Jim Boeheim.
We've all been there. We've all been there, Sean. He's getting ready to smash it. This is best laid plan.
Love the expressions on the fans in the first row who were in close range to that conversation. Page. Meeks from the elbow.
Well, you can already see what Carolina's trying to do. Paint has been their best friend all year long. Whether they're playing against his zone is immaterial tonight. They're going to try to pound the paint and get some of those close shots.
Roy Williams said he'd like to score in transition, set up the offense before Syracuse can get into that 2-3 zone. Roberson the bucket. He had a double-double in that home loss Saturday against Miami. Benajay off the takeaway. Cooney's wide open for 3. Roberson the rebound. Benajay steps into a 3.
Benajay, another one of the most improved players in America, only averaged about 4 points last year. Played great for the Orange.
More opportunity with the departure of Tyler Ennis to the NBA after 1 year at the Cuse. Bryce Johnson knocks it in from inside the free throw line. He's been terrific lately. 3 double-doubles in his last 5 games.
Well, they've been waiting on Bryce Johnson, and he showed great signs of life lately. When he gets a double-double, they're just so tough to beat.
Johnson's been playing through some back spasms. Lots of injuries on this Carolina team, but they're still deeper than this 6-man Syracuse unit. Patterson, a long jumper wouldn't go. And Bryce Johnson, the rebound. Meeks runs the floor and has it swatted by Christmas. Benajay underneath for Patterson. Well defended by Bryce Johnson. 4 minutes in, the action picking up. The Cuse by 3. Page for the tie. His 49th three of the year. He has more threes than the rest of his teammates combined. They've made 43. Christmas with the turnaround that wouldn't go, and Meeks the rebound. He averages 8 per game, leading Carolina.
Now, this is rare for college basketball to have so many talented, skilled big guys in the game. The game has gotten progressively smaller, but we have 3 future pros on the front court.
Out of bounds, 3rd Carolina turnover gets us to our first media timeout.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by...
The teams met last season up in the Carrier Dome. 2 Hall of Fame coaches going head-to-head for the first time as fellow members of the ACC. C.J. Fair led the way for Syracuse. He had 20 and 8. Jeremy Grant had a double-double, 12 and 12. It was the Syracuse defense that really ruled the day. Carolina had 45 points. That's the lowest scoring game in 415 games under Roy Williams. Syracuse shot only 35% for the game, still won 57-45. The all-time series is tied at 4 wins apiece. Roy Williams just 1 and 4 against Syracuse, 1 and 2 while at Kansas. Of course, one of those games, the 2003 national championship game, and he's 0 and 2 against the Cuse as head coach at North Carolina. He's the second winningest active coach in the country at almost 80%. So 1 out of 5 against Syracuse is well off his usual success rate. Benajay the miss. High pass and a good catch by Marcus Page. Needed all of that 6-1. Tokoto from just inside the 3-point line. Out of bounds to Syracuse. Brian Kersey, Brian Dorsey, and Joe Lindsay are the officials tonight.
So right now, I think this pace favors North Carolina. They really want to get up. Syracuse, they have a very short bench, so fatigue may be an issue for them. They want to get quality shots, but Carolina wants to race up and down the court. It's the first available good shot.
Carolina also played on Saturday. They played here at home, a 4-point win over Florida State. Roy said most of our games are going to be grinders. Just don't have the prolific talent to blow people away as they've had so many times throughout the years. Foul is on Isaiah Hicks, who's just come into the lineup for North Carolina, his first.
And this is Rakeem Christmas forcing the action. Hey, when you have as many injuries as the Orange do, that's what they're asking him to do. And he is a bull down there once he gets the ball in that paint.
Having a great year. Top 5 in the league. Points, rebounds, field goal percentage, block shots, more than 2 block shots per game. He may be Nate Britt into the game for Carolina.
He may be the best player that no one's talking about in America.
I think they're starting to talk about him now. We certainly did. For a lot of our telecast on Saturday, Jim Larinaga, the Miami coach, said he believes Christmas is a very strong candidate for Player of the Year in the ACC and is, in his mind, a first-round pick in the NBA, which I don't think anybody would have said before this season started.
Averaging 5 points a game last year. It's impressive to see his growth.
Hicks just ripped it away from 3 Syracuse players, and Christmas gets called for a foul. And just one thing Syracuse cannot afford, it's foul trouble on Rakeem Christmas. His first foul. First Syracuse foul nearly 6 minutes in. Underneath, Jarrell James off the mark from close range.
You can really see the concerted effort by the Tar Heels to get great paint shots.
Patterson long with the three. He has struggled to shoot all season long. Just 25% overall from the floor for Patterson and under 19% from beyond the three-point line. Hicks charging to the bucket. Nice move. Looked like he was stuck underneath the hoop.
And that first foul is so imperative for Rakeem Christmas. Now, you play a little more tentatively down there, knowing you can't draw a second one to go to the bench. Rakeem's going to need to play about 35 minutes if they want to win this game tonight.
That's a long two for Trevor Cooney. His first bucket. He's their second leading scorer for the year at 14 per game. He had 14 Saturday against the Hurricanes.
And he's really shot the ball well here once conference play started. Early in the season, wasn't getting a lot of quality shots, but really playing well lately.
Roberson anticipated that pass, stole it, then lost it. Patterson got it back. Cooney tries another three. His first free ball of the night. 5 in a row for Trevor Cooney and a 5-point lead for Syracuse.
I don't think there's anyone in the ACC who has a greener light than Trevor Cooney, with very good reasons.
Now 1 for 3 from beyond the arc. Nate Britt, one of the banged-up Tar Heels. He's playing with 15 stitches in his lip and the inside of his mouth. He was injured in a collision last week against Wake Forest. Boy, Benajay anticipated that pass and picked it off. Patterson, Cooney was calling for it, feeling it, and missing it. Tokoto the other way. Harassed by Cooney and Patterson. And a travel. Jim Boeheim loves the defense. 6 North Carolina turnovers.
Well, Trevor Cooney is feeling it. And like we said earlier, he has the ultimate green light. If he gets a good look, he is letting it fly, and he will not hear a peep from Coach Boeheim.
6 turnovers for North Carolina. They had 5 the entire game against Florida State on Saturday. The fewest by a Carolina team under Roy Williams in those 415 games we mentioned earlier. Cooney. Mike Hopkins, the assistant coach, describes him as a shot maker. It's almost as if the more difficult it is, the more he's leaning or off balance, the higher likelihood it is that he's going to make it.
And that's okay. That's okay. When you have confidence and you make a few, you can live with some of those tough shots.
Nate Britt makes a three. His first basket of the night, 14th three of the season. That's second on their team. As we mentioned, they're really a one-man band from behind the line. Marcus Page.
Well, any production from the off-guard spot outside of Page is really found gold for this Tar Heel team.
Benajay wide right with a three. Tokoto another rebound. 9 minutes played. Syracuse leading 16-12. They've lost 2 of their last 3 after a 7-game winning streak. Weston Jackson scored inside. First points of the night for the freshman from the Houston, Texas area. Foul called before Cooney launched a shot. Nate Britt called for the foul, his first.
Well, we got Trevor Cooney feeling it early, giving Carolina a little taste of their own medicine. And Dean Dome taking it into the paint with a nice floater.
First men's Division I coach to 1,000 wins, Mike Krzyzewski, one of the 4 ACC coaches in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. Jim Boeheim, second all-time in wins with 962. Roy Williams, 4th among active coaches, with only Bob Huggins in between.
No, I just want to wish my old coach and close friend and mentor, Coach K, congratulations on 1,000 victories. It's almost mind-boggling to think of the number. I was lucky to be part of 133 of those. Wow. And just an unbelievable time in my life. We're proud of him, and we're so happy. We're excited to see the next 1,000.
Well, if he's around for 1,000 more, we're really going to have the story. I don't think he'll be around for many more, however. He's still in great health. At the top of his game at 67 years old. 4 points for Kennedy Meeks. Carolina has tied it midway through the first half. Sean McDonough, Shane Battier, Allison Williams in the Smith Center. Double dribble to call against Christmas. We mentioned it's the first time Jim Boeheim has led the Orange into this building to play North Carolina, but it's not the first time they've played here. Syracuse played in first and second round NCAA tournament action in this building back in 1988 and in Chapel Hill, and they beat North Carolina A&T in the first round. Then they got upset by Rhode Island 97-94 in the second round. Syracuse is a 3 seed. Rhodey was a number 11 seed. That was the season after Syracuse lost in the national championship game to Indiana on the Keith Smart shot.
That was a really good Syracuse team. Who was on that Rhode Island team?
I don't remember. I think Tom Penders was the coach. Underneath, all alone, Meeks missed a bunny. He was all alone. That's exactly what Roy Williams wants. Run the floor and get early offense before Syracuse can get in that zone. And Meeks compounded the problem by committing his first foul.
Oh, great interior passing. Meeks with the bunny. We've all been there. Just wanted it a little bit too much. Good shot, though. We'll take that shot 10 times out of 10.
Trevor Cooney, his second 3. Syracuse goes back on top, and Cooney has 10 here in the first half.
This is an excellent gym to shoot at. I always enjoyed coming here and shooting. I did the Notre Dame game earlier. They made a lot of 3-pointers, so Trevor Cooney feeling the Smith Center early.
A 1-point loss to Notre Dame, the only defeat in the last 11 for the Tar Heels. Benajay off a feed from Patterson, and then it was lost out of bounds by B.J. Johnson, who did not play at all Saturday against Miami. Thursday night showcase. The impressive freshman Melo Trimble leads the 16th ranked Maryland Terrapins into Columbus to take on the Buckeyes. Then Kentucky, number 1, trying to remain undefeated as they go to Columbia to face Missouri. That's Thursday night, the home court of college hoops, ESPN.
That Trimble can play. He can go. Fun to watch.
Makes another sloppy turnover by Carolina. Well, they played such a solid game Saturday with just the 5 turnovers against the Noles. They've handed it back to Syracuse 8 times already tonight. Caleb Joseph back in. Roberson the stuff. Cooney, no. Jackson the rebound.
Well, you wonder if the lack of practice time is affecting the timing of North Carolina.
Page a 3. Six points on 2 threes. He's their leading scorer at 14 points per game. North Carolina averages 79 points per game. And that is 3rd most in the ACC, but they don't have anybody in the top 15 individually in scoring. Meanwhile, Cooney with his 3rd 3 for 13 points.
It might be time to go box and 1. Make someone else beat you for North Carolina. Cooney's feeling it.
Jackson, wow. So these Syracuse players are seeing the passes before they're even thrown. Roberson stepped into that one and picked it off. Cooney, wow. That's a deep 2 for Trevor Cooney, the redshirt junior from Wilmington, Delaware. Meeks. And if that's on Christmas, it's his 2nd. They called it on Patterson, his 1st.
Trevor Cooney absolutely feeling it early in the first half. Tough step back 3. Nothing but the bottom of the net. He likes that step back. You see it again. Long 2. Syracuse leading. Oh, I know it sounds weird, but you don't mind the shots that Cooney's taking. He's taking tough shots. We're talking step back jumpers, dribble jumpers, and you can sort of see him as a little bit gassed right now. If you're Carolina, you just want to continue to make him work and make those tough shots and live with the results.
Kennedy Meeks makes a couple. 6 points for the sophomore from Charlotte. Joel James back in, as you saw. Isaiah Hicks on the floor for North Carolina. Benajay picked up his dribble. Boy, Cooney, catch and shoot. Tokido got a hand on it, but it wound up with Christmas. And a full shot clock for the Orange. Cooney threw it away. Marcus Page the interception. Justin Jackson double team. Benajay nearly had a steal. Rebound Roberson. Cooney has 6 field goals. The rest of the Syracuse team has 3. Benajay tried to get it into Christmas. Christmas is going to have to earn it tonight because they have a number of big bodies who can get in there and bang on them, including Joel James at 6'10", 280 pounds.
He is a large man.
Benajay lucky to get it back after Page deflected it. Patterson trying to drive on Jackson, got called for an offensive foul using the free arm. Second personal on Ron Patterson. ESPN has NBA Wednesday with Countdown. Getting the coverage started at 7:30. The Nets and the sizzling Hawks at 8. Atlanta looking for its 17th straight win, followed by the Wizards at the Suns, America's team, on its home floor in Phoenix at 10:30 Wednesday on ESPN. JP Tokido, his first bucket, makes it a 1-point game.
Tokido hasn't shown great range, but when he shot from the outside, he's made a pretty good percentage. Where Williams likes to see him take care of the ball a little bit better.
Roberson dumps it down for Christmas, and he got hit. Roy Williams was saying, as you did at the top of the telecast, Shane, he thinks that Christmas is the most improved player perhaps in the country. He said he looked at the box score from last season's game between these two teams in the Carrier Dome. Christmas had only 2 points, took only 4 shots in 30 minutes. He wasn't anywhere near a focal point because they were such a perimeter-oriented team, but no more Tyler Ennis, no more Jeremy Grant. And Christmas has emerged 18.3 after he averaged under 6 per game last year.
Well, that's great to see. Anytime you see a young player, even though he's still a senior, I consider him a young player still, take the mantle, take the responsibility. This is your program. Syracuse Orange basketball is on you to carry the tradition, and he's taken that and he's run with it, and he's played fantastic and is a serious candidate for Player of the Year in the conference.
Those numbers almost identical in terms of scoring and rebounding to each of the local 4. Jackson banks it home from the middle of the lane. 4 points for Jackson. He had 14 Saturday against Florida State. Took 15 shots, the most he's ever taken in a game for Carolina as a freshman. Benajay, count it, and a chance for 3.
Going back to Justin Jackson, at this point of the year, you've played a few conference games. You're no longer considered a freshman. You have enough seasoning. You understand what the college game is about. You understand the intensity. And I think that's why you see an improvement in Justin Jackson's game over the last 3 games, scoring double figures in each 3 games.
Benajay missed the free throw. That was Syracuse's undoing on Saturday in the 4-point loss at home to Miami. They went 8 out of 19 from the line. Benajay was 2 for 6. Christmas an uncharacteristic 5 for 11. Britt off the mark. James inside position. Joel James, the junior from West Palm Beach. Struggled to shoot lately, even though most of his actions around the rim. He's 2 for his last 11 from the floor. Entering tonight, Christmas, Roberson fouled. The 6th team foul against Carolina with 4 minutes to go in the half. First personal on J.P. Tokido.
Joel James working inside. Carolina's best offense is often a missed shot. Joel James there.
Adnan Burke and Seth Greenberg. They'll look back at history being made yesterday. Mike Krzyzewski's 1,000th win. They had to rally against St. John's to Duke late in the game from 10 down. A little bit preview of the second half of our big Monday doubleheader. Texas and Ohio State, or excuse me, Iowa State to follow. Tyler Roberson at the line for the Orange, sophomore from Union, New Jersey. more and more of a factor in recent games after the highly touted freshman Chris McCullough, the 6'10" forward, went down with a knee injury 2 weeks ago against Florida State. More minutes for Roberson, and he is thriving.
Really impressive on the boards. Outstanding offensive rebounder.
An offensive foul called. Bryce Johnson, his first, team 7th.
Carolina has to feel decent about where they are, considering they have 10 turnovers in the first half. That's a lot for a home game. Only to be down 2. That's not a bad position to be in.
Christmas already 6 points, 7 rebounds. Roberson, as Shane said, a terrific offensive rebounder, but then he put it down, and Page took it away. 2 to tie, 3 for the lead. Tokido puts North Carolina on top. Roberson from the wing, long. Nate Britt the push the other way. Tokido blocked by Cooney. Wow, then Tokido just shoved Cooney down to the floor. And they're saying Benajay was out of bounds. Trevor Cooney getting up right in front of us with his arms outstretched. And Joe Lindsay, that was right in front of us. Tokido just took his arm.
I think JP Tokido got away one right there. That's a nice push off even Richard Sherman would be proud of.
Wonder about fatigue for Cooney. Leads the ACC in minutes played, over 37 per game, and he played all 40 like 3 of his teammates on Saturday. Quick turnaround. They had to travel here. 5 on the shot clock. Page short with the 3. Benajay the rebound. Roberson running the floor. Couldn't finish, and a great rebound by Bryce Johnson in traffic. Boy, Britt trying to force the issue. Joseph got in his way. He didn't like the call. Jim Boeheim said they accept it.
This is an outstanding above the rim rebound by Bryce Johnson. That's sort of that's the rebound that Coach Williams dreams about every single night. They want Bryce Johnson to be aggressive and go after the ball, especially on the defensive end, using his length.
Not hard to believe Bryce was 2 times the state champion in high school in the high jump in South Carolina.
This seems to be a trend of Carolina. They do a great job of establishing the paint early in the game. And for whatever reason, they start to fall in love with jump shots later in the half. I like to see them reestablish that dominance in the paint that got them to lead early.
Joseph called for his 2nd foul. Syracuse team foul number 5. Joe Lindsay saying Britt was on the way up, and it seemed he was. He'll shoot 2. And he's a great free throw shooter. 90.7% entering tonight. 39 out of 43. Seven to 1 run for North Carolina, and the 3-point lead is the largest of the night for the Tar Heels. Largest Syracuse advantage with 7 points. Benajay back on Tobacco Road. He played for a season at Duke before transferring to Syracuse. Didn't play much as a freshman. Down the road in Durham. Christmas on the floor. It's a held ball. It'll stick with the orange.
Well, if you notice the last couple of possessions, Marcus Page has been in Trevor Cooney's shorts, not allowing him to get a clean look, a clean sniff at the rim. And that's the luxury that North Carolina have. They have outstanding perimeter defenders between Britt and Page and Tokido. They can really get in someone's grill and make life tough for them. And that's what's needed right now with Trevor Cooney so hot.
Marcus Page, the preseason ACC Player of the Year. He's been battling through plantar fasciitis. And if you've ever had that, your foot hurts.
Ooh. It is not fun. It's not fun.
Team Christmas is dealing with that as well for Syracuse. Benajay, a 3.
That was excellent penetration by Caleb Joseph, getting into the paint, drawing the defenders, finding the open man. Those are the three-point shots you want every single time. Nice clean looks.
Meeks, Christmas held his ground. Benajay in transition behind the back for Roberson. Wow.
Nice dish. Great finish by Roberson. Way to run the floor.
Page to Jackson. Now Britt with Meeks and Tokido for North Carolina. Approaching 1 minute to go in a fast-moving first half.
Not a look that we see too often from Carolina going small.
Britt, his second three of the night. 8 points for Nate Britt. Joseph, freshman from Nashua, New Hampshire, hit on the release by Britt. Second foul on Nate, sophomore from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, out of Oak Hill Academy in Virginia. He was part of a prep team that won a national championship. Joseph, 73% for the year from the line. Out of Cushing Academy in Massachusetts, expected to back up Tyler Ennis when they recruited him, but Tyler decided to go to the NBA after 1 year at Syracuse.
And you wonder for a young player like Joseph, it's his team now as a freshman, and Syracuse has such a great tradition of young guards, Michael Carter-Williams and Tyler Ennis leading their teams, being the guy. You hope he doesn't get frustrated with the expectation that he has to be in that ilk, and hopefully he'll develop at his own pace, and he'll be a good player in the Syracuse program for a long time.
Jim Boeheim's had a lot of freshman point guard start, as you said. Roy Williams before the game was talking about a Syracuse freshman guard by the name of Jerry McNamara, who threw in 6 threes in the national championship game in New Orleans 2003 against Roy's Kansas Jayhawks. Timeout Syracuse. Shot clock is off. 18.5 seconds remaining in the first half.
If you like offense, that's going to be a great game to watch.
I think that conversation might have been about the shot clock. We said as we went to break, the shot clock was off, and it was, but now it's on, and it is 18 seconds showing, so it's not that big a deal. There's only a half second between. We're just speculating what the conversation with the two coaches was. Well, essentially, they can take the last shot of the half. Very close to it.
Start the clock.
Clock's not moving at all now. That's a bigger deal.
Who needs time? All we have is time, Sean.
Half a second came off the game clock, and the shot clock is still at 18 seconds. I think the shot clock timer said, hey, I shut it off. I'm done for the half. Deal with it. Time for a hot dog. Well, they have 15.5 on the game clock. Shot clock was off for a minute. Now it has 15, which would make sense.
It's all math, Sean.
Thank God you're here to help with that.
It's all algebra. It's all algebra to me. Time, space, continuum.
Christmas, beautifully executed play. He went to screen and then rolled to the bucket, and he got fouled. The shot wouldn't drop, but he'll have a chance to shoot 2 at the line. Marcus Page, his first foul.
Nice pick and roll. Rakeem Christmas with a great roll. Now Marcus Page needs to get in there and chuck the roller. Gets there late. 2 free throws.
For Christmas, 4 out of 4 from the line. 5 for 5 now after that difficulty we mentioned on Saturday from the stripe. 5 out of 11. It's enough to make me wonder if the basketball might have been overly inflated.
Oh,
Syracuse was at the line.
Too soon.
Too soon.
Too soon. Too soon. Too soon.
3-point lead. They did leave North Carolina plenty of time to get a good shot, and with fouls to give, Cooney grabbed Page before the shot. That was their 1 foul to give. That's the 16th foul. Not Jim Boeheim's first rodeo. Knew he had a foul to give, make North Carolina inbound it again and start over. They lob it inside. Joseph has time to go all the way to the rim and lay it in at the buzzer. And a much nicer finish to the half for Caleb Joseph, who earlier in the game had a breakaway layup and bounced one off his foot. So Jim Boeheim takes a 5-point lead into the locker room.
Well, the last thing you want to do is turn the ball over there, obviously, but Syracuse does a great job. Caleb Joseph reading the clock, racing down the clock, getting that shot off right before the buzzer. Nice awareness by Caleb Joseph.
And that takes us to halftime. Comes out 13 North Carolina turnovers that led to 16 Syracuse points. Here's Allison with Roy Williams.
Coach Williams, you told us before the game you needed to be aggressive inside and attack the basket in the paint. How would you assess your team's ability to do that?
We were sorry. We were flat out terrible. 16 points off turnovers. You can't play soft. Right now, if that was a street fight, they kicked our rear end from the first second to the last. If we don't compete, it's going to be a 30-point. We got to compete a heck of a lot harder.
Coach, thank you.
He's well aware of the stats. First half stats brought to you by New York Life. North Carolina ball to begin the second half. Marcus Page to J.P. Tokido. Kennedy Meeks, Bryce Johnson, Justin Jackson start the second half, and Johnson scores inside. 4 points for Bryce Johnson.
And that's what the Tar Heels need to do. Get back to those paint shots. They got away from it late in the first half, and I think it cost them.
Cooney a long miss. It leads to a break opportunity for North Carolina. Johnson again. 4 in a row. Right out of the locker room. Michael Benajay blew by Jackson and made the layup. 10 points for Benajay.
Really impressed with the growth of Benajay this year. He's really, again, taking that responsibility.
The lob to Johnson. He has all 6 Carolina points since the break. And a beautiful pass by Tokido. Set that up. Now Syracuse with the crowd fully engaged. Cooney traveled. A little stutter step as he took the pass.
This is an old staple of Carolina. The back pick to the lob. Bryce Johnson does a fantastic job throwing it down. They've been running this play since the start of basketball.
Jackson bounce pass inside. They surround Kennedy Meeks. Lost it on the floor. Last touch by Tyler Roberson. Or was it? No, they say it was last touch by Carolina. That's 14 turnovers for the Heels. Their season high in turnovers is 19, twice against Butler in Florida.
I don't think that's a result of being soft, like Coach Williams said. I think it's just a lack of awareness and concentration. I think Coach Williams wants them to focus a little more on their passing and their angles here in the second half.
Christmas had his shot blocked out of bounds. Kennedy Meeks playing good defense. 23 on the shot clock for the Orange.
I'd like to see the Orange try to get to Christmas and establish their own interior presence. Did a nice job late in the first half finishing.
Christmas came to help Cooney with a screen. Tough runner, wouldn't drop. Rebound to the floor, scooped up by Bryce Johnson, and now Marcus Page. Meeks trying to establish position in the lane. He has position and scores. He managed to get away from Christmas in the middle of that zone. Benajay couldn't stop it. North Carolina with the lead. Benajay. Nice move, then missed the scoop. Joseph, the handoff. Cooney, 4-3 to quiet the crowd.
Listen, Trevor Cooney is not going to be shy about shooting. He misses 2. He's going to always hit that third one.
Rakeem Christmas, after he was fouled, I believe, by Meeks, turned to the official, said, about time. A lot of jostling. Second foul on Meeks.
And those are the fouls we talked to Coach Williams about a shoot around. the Carolina bigs have a tough time sometimes staying on the floor because of careless, silly fouls like that one, which was 40 feet away from the basketball.
Cooney. Benajay all alone. Roberson from the free throw line. 7 points for Roberson. Ooh, Page fortunate to get away with it. Meeks found Tokido for 3. Rebound Christmas. Cooney. Fouled on the move to the baseline. Fouls on J.P. Tokido. His second. Well, he's a long defender on the perimeter. 6'6", 200 pounds.
Yeah, he is a tough matchup for any offensive player because he uses his length and his athleticism in angles. And that's the recipe for a fantastic defender, especially on this level.
Joseph shot blocked by Page. Rescued by Christmas. Rakeem Christmas. Caleb Joseph. 15 to shoot. Cooney with Tokido right on him. 10 to shoot. Fadeaway, no. Benajay swatted it into the corner. 4 minutes played, second half. Shaping up as another good one on Big Monday in the ACC. Meeks leans into Christmas, draws the foul, and has a chance for 3. Second foul on Rakeem Christmas.
Well, we got a fantastic seal by Kennedy Meeks down low, but even a better finish.
Maryland, Ohio State at 7, then #1 Kentucky, Missouri, Thursday on ESPN.
I'm outside.
Syracuse 5-2, but they played a very soft ACC schedule. Those 5 wins against teams that are likely to be in the bottom half of the league. Jim Boeheim says, yes, the schedule gets harder, but it's also an opportunity when you're trying to build an NCAA tournament resume. A win like a team against a team like Carolina goes a long way.
No question. I think these guys are up to it. They know they haven't been challenged to the extent of some of the other teams, but they got a tough road coming up. We'll see how they handle it.
Kennedy Meeks completed the 3-point play. North Carolina within 1. Heels were down by 5 at the break. Christmas calling for the ball and gets it. Carolina doubles. As so many teams have lately, it didn't matter that time for Rakeem Christmas, who now has 10.
Well, that's where he's been just so dominant this year. He's third in the entire country in post points, averaging about 8 a game. He is just a horse. When they're struggling, they need to go find him every single time.
See, they powered the ball inside again. Good strategy. Christmas with 2 fouls. Doesn't want to get a third. Joseph in the way. Called for his 3rd foul. And the second team foul in the half.
He's just having a special year down on that block, and he is a horse. He's been working on that little jump hook. You see the fruits of his labor right there.
And that's the phrase Jim Boeheim uses so often to describe Christmas. Such a hard worker, both on the court, in the classroom. That's a dunk for Isaiah Hicks. 4 points for Hicks, their leading bench scorer for the year, averaging 6.5 per game. And they are starting to establish a big advantage now in the paint. The Tar Heels. Roberson from 17. Soft bounce.
Ever since Chris McCullough down, Roberson's done a great job of filling that void. And he's going to be a nice player for this Orange team for many years to come.
Hicks. Isaiah Hicks has 6. Sophomore from Oxford, North Carolina. Excellent defensive player. Benajay. I think there's a foul call. Tokido thought he had forced a turnover, but Brian Dorsey says it's a reach-in foul on JP. And the junior from Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, has his 3rd. 3rd team foul against the Tar Heels here in the second half.
Little reach in there. JP Tokido. Hands weren't quick enough.
He gets His hands on the ball that time, knocked it away from Roberson and out of bounds. Tokido is going to come out. Nate Britt returns. Tokido is North Carolina's leading assist man for the season. He also leads their team in turnovers. He has 5 assists tonight. Cooney. They got reversed to Benajay, but the Carolina defense responded well. Christmas doubled again. Well, he keeps looking at the officials as if to say, I'm being bumped and not getting the call.
Well, this is a physical game, and so the precedent has been set. They need to play on. You got to play through contact and finish strong like you did right there.
12 points for Christmas. Britt, blocking foul called. Looked like Benajay was trying to get out of the way, but just couldn't, and that's his first and the third on the team in the second half.
Well, again, Joel James should know that the scouting report is Rakeem Christmas has a strong righty jump hook going over that left shoulder.
James, double dribble. 16 Carolina turnovers, 3 here in the second half. 3 shy of the season high.
A lot of these turnovers are what make Roy Williams stay up late at night. If they just take care of the ball a little better and get shots.
Cooney fouled from behind. He'll have a chance for 3 at the line, and that's 20 points for Trevor Cooney.
Cooney's activity has been amazing all night long. He is tireless. Leader in the ACC in minutes. Still in the second half, 20 points. Still moving like the Energizer Bunny. Having a heck of a game.
His 5th game of the season of 20-plus points, 21 now. Foul on Marcus Page was his 2nd. 13 minutes to go. Syracuse by 6, trying to end North Carolina's 5-game winning streak. Orange have led through most of it. Page for 3.
How many big shots has Marcus Page hit for this Carolina team? It seems whenever they need a big shot, he has no fear of taking that shot, and he makes it more than enough. Joseph
Trying to bounce it for Christmas. Wild pass. Great opportunity. Jackson didn't see it coming. 17 North Carolina turnovers.
Well, I made the point earlier, because of their injuries and because of their schedule, playing on a Saturday, playing on a Monday, you have to cut back on your practice time. And sometimes you just need practice to work on your offense and get timing with your teammates.
Nice. 5 turnovers Saturday, the Roy Williams era low for North Carolina. 17 tonight, 2 shy of their season high. Roberson fouled by Bryce Johnson. Second foul on Johnson. 5 Carolina fouls here in the second half.
You know, give Syracuse credit. Every time this crowd has gotten back into the game, trying to push the Tar Heels over the top, Syracuse has answered with a strong play, usually an attack in the paint.
Roberson. Jackson Simmons into the game for North Carolina, making his first appearance. Senior. Played in just 15 of their 20 games. And in those 15, he's played just 4.5 minutes per game. 2 misses by Roberson. Then you look for signs of fatigue toward the end of the game here. Page the miss. Benajay the board. Under 12 to go. Patterson back in the game for Syracuse. Way off with a one-hander. And a Syracuse foul on the rebounding action. It's on Roberson, his first.
Well, in the first half, Tar Heels did a great job of pushing Rakeem Christmas's catches out just far enough from the basket he couldn't be effective. Every foot matters when you get around the basket. On the second half, Christmas has done a much better job of taking that real estate, taking that block, and as a result, I think he's been much more effective. Young post players out there, take your real estate, fight for it.
He hasn't come out of the game tonight. Second in overall games in scoring behind Jahlil Okafor, but in ACC play, conference games only 20 points per game for Rakeem. That leads the league. When Chris McCullough was healthy, even though he's a forward, he's also their backup center for the most part. Britt threw up an air ball, and then there was a foul on the floor. And Jim Boeheim said McCullough was actually effective in that role, so that was a double whammy loss of McCullough. They really don't have a good option to go to give Christmas some time off. Benajay, the foul, his second.
Well, you'll never hear a player complaining about more playing time. What? Want me to play more, coach?
Well, he and Cooney might be about to play the entire game for the second time in 3 days. Marcus Page knocks home a three to tie it at 56. He has 12. All of them from beyond the arc. 8 ties, 7 lead changes. Largest lead in the game, 7 for Syracuse in the first half. It's been tight throughout. Christmas scores inside.
Excellent interior passing by Tyler Roberson. Great finish by Rakeem Christmas. It's nice to have big guys who can pass. That is a great luxury to have.
Very nearly another Carolina turnover. Then Meeks just powers to the goal and scores. Christmas retreated. Didn't want to pick up his third foul. 13 points for Kennedy Meeks. Cooney, deep three, on the move, no. Good block out by Johnson to keep Roberson away from an offensive rebound, and Page wound up with the board. Chance for the lead for Carolina. Their largest lead was 3 in the first half. Torquedo playing with 3 fouls. Has it back from Britt. And a little bump by Roberson. Perhaps some fatigue there as you can see him gasping for air practically. He was trying to get in position and couldn't. His second foul.
Oh, one thing I love, big guys who can pass the ball in the interior. That's a great connection by Tyler Roberson and Rakeem Christmas. An excellent luxury to have.
Meeks, a tip by Johnson, then the rebound snatched by Benajay. Christmas trying to step through the double team, fouled on the way up by Kennedy Meeks.
Well, that's a great counter move by Rakeem Christmas. He's been great with the jump hook all night long. Gives him the counter move, the up and under.
They gave the foul to Page on the reach in from behind, so that's 3 on Carolina's best player. Christmas, a double-double. Now 15 points and 10 rebounds. His 7th double-double of the season. 9th of his career. Seven of 7 from the line. 8 for 8 now. So a nice recovery after he scuffled from the stripe on Saturday. Page out of the game with the 3 fouls.
Carolina has struggled earlier in the year against the zone. They came into the game only shooting 40%, but they've done a nice job of getting the shots they've wanted to get. A lot of interior shots.
The problem has been what we just saw. The turnovers, exactly. 18 of them. Carolina for the game is shooting 54.8% from the floor and just under 54% from 3, 7 out of 13. And yet they trail because of the 18 turnovers.
You cut those turnovers in half and get shots, you're winning this game by 6-7 points.
Cooney might have been blocked by Britt. Also might have slipped out of the hand of Cooney on the way up. 2-point game.
The name of the game is get shots. Get shots.
Whoa, they tried that lob again. Torquedo. That time Johnson didn't seem ready for it. It clanked off the backboard. Benajay found a seam. Patterson, can he make one? No. Johnson the rebound. Patterson was a scorer in prep school, the New England Prep Player of the Year, but he has struggled with his confidence in game action this year for Syracuse. Simmons gets it back and missed. Meeks fouled, count the basket. I think they're going to score it for a goal 10 anyway. Benajay called for his third foul, and Carolina has a chance for the lead from the line.
Oh, this is where Carolina is just so lethal. They live and feast off the offensive boards. Their best offense, throw it up and go get it. When you got finishers like Kennedy Meeks, hey, that's a great offensive plan.
You're starting to see a lot of winded-looking Syracuse people. Hands on their hips and knees. High-arcing free throw goes through. That hit the back rim, went way up in the air, and goes through to give the Heels their first lead since 43-42. Benajay, Roberson. 11 for Roberson. Well, Jim Boeheim has said many times they need to get scoring every night from that big three of Christmas, Cooney, and Benajay, but Roberson is fast making that a foursome tonight.
That's found gold. When you get contributions from role players you weren't expecting.
How about Nate Britt? 13 threes coming in for the year. He's 3 tonight. 11 points and a 2-point lead with 8 minutes to go. Roberson working on Johnson, who defends with great vigor. Out of bounds. North Carolina ball.
Carolina getting a lot of contributions from across the board. Nate Britt, he's feeling it too from 3. You know who loves it? Carolina bench, as they should.
His good friend Roy Williams says he has mellowed a bit over the years, but Ron Patterson incurring his wrath. I think Jim's trying to get the young man to be more confident. You know, the offensive game is in there. He's demonstrated in the past. He just can't do it right now in games.
Well, hey, Coach Boeheim is a master motivator. You don't get to 960-plus wins without knowing what you're doing.
962. Second all-time for Boeheim. Britt, another 3. And the largest North Carolina lead of the night, 5 points. Benajay all the way to the bucket. Knocked out of bounds.
It has been such a source of trepidation for Carolina all year. The outside shooting. And when someone else gets hot outside Marcus Page, it is party time on Franklin Street.
Cooney, no, and then Roberson, a push-off, shoved into the back of Jackson. Third foul on Roberson. Roy Williams a little woozy getting up. He's battled dizziness and vertigo from time to time. It might have just been, well, there it is, grabbing his head. And for those of us who have battled vertigo, it is not fun.
Well, 19 turnovers do that to you, Sean.
Justin Jackson, a 1-on-1 opportunity. He's 70.6% for the year. Carolina perfect from the line, 7 out of 7. One out of 2. It gets tipped out to Britt. Jackson short of the 3. And it's out of bounds.
Well, let's see if Syracuse makes the adjustment. Now, Nate Britt is the hottest shooter in the gym right now. He's been feeling it. We'll see if Syracuse extends their matchup zone to take away Britt's open looks, because he is hot right now. This is a dangerous time for Syracuse. The crowd's in this game. Carolina feels good about what they're doing. They need to get in the paint, get to the free throw line, get some easy baskets, take this crowd right back out.
High-low. Christmas is being held by Meeks. Third foul on Kennedy Meeks. Both teams are in the bonus now. Wednesday night, story of father and son, hip-hop icon Snoop Dogg and rising football star Cordell Broadus. The journey to fulfill a dream, Snoop and son to dad's dream, Wednesday at 7 on ESPN.
Snoop Dogg.
That's always entertaining when
You like his early
Snoop's
stuff?
involved.
You like his early stuff?
I would.
That was like my childhood, man.
You're young.
It was a good time.
Younger,
Good days.
relatively speaking.
Good days. Snoop, great job, bud.
I'm a big fan of the up-and-coming rap star Mike Stud, who played baseball at Duke. Keep an eye out for Mike Stud. You heard it here, not first, because he's rapidly gaining a following. Lob wouldn't go for Bryce Johnson, but there's a foul in the follow-up action, and it's against Michael Benajay of Syracuse, his 4th. They can't afford, obviously, to lose anybody. They've essentially played with 6 men again tonight. They've used 7, but B.J. Johnson got just 2 minutes in the first half of Coach Boeheim, who used only 6 players on Saturday.
And that's where Carolina's so dangerous. They can grind you. They live in the paint. And when you live in the paint like they do, there's going to be contact. And you have to just play great position defense and have great discipline not to foul them and put them in the bonus like they are the rest of the way now.
With 2 misses, Meeks almost tipped it in. Christmas the rebound. North Carolina by 4 as we approach 6.5 minutes to go here in Chapel Hill. Cooney, top shot. Nothing's tough for him. The more awkward looking, the better. 23 for Trevor Cooney.
Man, that's a tough shot. If I'm Carolina, I live with that shot.
I think the one you want to give him is when he's standing still at the line all by himself. That seems to be the one that gives him the most difficulty. Meeks, room to spin. Rakeem Christmas, his 3rd foul, and it's the double bonus.
Let's take a look at this Trevor Cooney shot. This is a insane degree of difficulty. A step back going to his left, fading away. Only thing that could have been tougher is if it was from 3.
23 tonight. His season high is 28 in their win at home against Florida State. January 11th, he made 7 threes in that one. Meeks missed the first of the 2 free throws. He's 68% for the year from the line and gets there more often than any North Carolina player. Boy, they couldn't miss. They were 7 out of 7 from the line. They've missed 5 free throws in a row now. 6 minutes to go, a 2-point game. Joseph hit somebody's leg. It was a North Carolina leg.
Well, free throws have been a huge issue for the Cuse, especially down the stretch, shooting 59% last 5 minutes of the game in overtime. We'll see if they can break that trend in this close game.
Cooney, another tough shot, well guarded by Page. Rebound, Bryce Johnson. Boy, they are going right at Christmas. Johnson powered in. He has 10. Timeout, Syracuse.
Carolina living in the paint all night long.
One of the prettiest campuses in America, the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. The homestanding Tar Heels looking for their 6th win in a row. Lead Syracuse by 4 with 5:23 to go. It would be a bigger advantage for the Heels had they not turned it over, a season high tying 19 times.
Well, Syracuse is giving Carolina a taste of their own medicine. They're playing out of transition. They're playing off turnovers. But the one thing that's kept Carolina in the game is their paint points. They've just really dominated the paint all night long.
It was relatively even in the first half. The Christmas not wanting to foul. He's not defending as vigorously underneath. They go to him on the offensive end. Jump hook, yes. Rakeem Christmas with 20 points.
He's got a wonderful touch. You just don't see that sort of post move and post touch from big guys in college basketball anymore. It's fun to watch.
Page, a floater. No, it comes back to Page. Yes, with the bank. He's played a very solid game. 14 points, 8 assists, and he doesn't have any of those turnovers for North Carolina. Christmas in the lane a long time. They find him again. Boy, he must be in great shape. Went the full 40 Saturday, and he doesn't look fatigued at all here as he hits another turnaround shot in the lane.
Well, it's time for Kennedy Meeks to make Rakeem Christmas use his left hand. He's constantly torched him with his right hand. Let's see if he can make a left-handed hook.
Britt having a tremendous game. 16 points. He averages 5.5 per game. Under 4 minutes to go. Cooney nearly turned it over. Hustled to get it back. Tipped up and in by Roberson at the rim. 13 for Tyler Roberson. And they're matching each other score for score.
In a game like this, every defensive rebound is like gold. Every rebound is gold. You have to go get it. You can't let the other team get another chance for a second chance point.
Page. Boy, got stuck in the air. Joe Lindsay blew the whistle. Now he's looking around trying to decide who the foul's on. It's on Roberson. His fourth, so all kinds of foul trouble for Syracuse.
Rakeem Christmas just absolutely keeping the orange in the game on the strength of his nice jump hook. He's establishing fantastic position. His teammates are getting him the rock, and he's doing work down there. Tight game.
Live from Arizona, our analysts and anchors prepare you for football's crowning moments. Sports Center live from Phoenix and Scottsdale all week long on ESPN. Bryce Johnson at the free throw line, shooting 2. We mentioned Christmas played the full 40 Saturday against Miami in the Dome. 23 points. Matter of fact, he had 18 in the second half. Got stronger as he went along. And he's had a big second half tonight.
Well, he better get used to it, because that's going to be the theme from here on in the rest of the way. They need him to play big like he's playing big tonight.
Benajay playing with 4 fouls. Roberson also has 4 fouls for Syracuse. Cooney's pass knocked out of bounds by Tokido. 19 on the shot clock.
Now for Syracuse, Rakeem Christmas has scored every time he's touched the ball in the last 5 possessions. Why wouldn't you just go to him every single time?
They likely will try. Three minutes to go, regulation time. 5 seconds to shoot for the Orange. Christmas in a double team. Cooney had to let it go. Roberson called for going over the back of Johnson. He didn't think there was any contact at all, and Jim Boeheim concurs. You can go over the back if you don't hit him.
Well, there were 2 athletes in the air making an athletic play. I say you play on. You play on. 2 athletes way above the rim. A game I'm not familiar with.
Where's the contact?
Yeah, that's a touchy one. In a game like this, 3 to go. It's been a great game. It's been a physical game. It's been a lot that they've let go. I think we can let that one go too.
Well, you can always let it go if they don't touch each other at all. And there's been a lot of banging here tonight on both ends of the court. So Roberson fouls out. He had 13 points. 3 rebounds. Roberson also had 5 assists tonight.
Well, now Carolina has a huge size advantage with Johnson and Meeks. Let's see if they take advantage of it.
Largest lead for North Carolina, 6 points. What does Syracuse have left in the tank? Joseph's pass deflected by Page, picked off by Meeks. B.J. Johnson came in for Roberson. He played just the 2 minutes in the first half. I don't think Page was seriously thinking about taking that job, but the crowd was oohing and ahhing nonetheless. 10 seconds to shoot. Britt had a career night. 16 points, his career high. He's made a career high 4 threes. 2 seconds to shoot. Took it on air ball and a shot clock violation with 2:06 remaining.
Well, let's see how Syracuse answers now. They got the stop that they needed. They need a basket here to put the pressure back on Carolina.
Roy Williams says Carolina plays another grinder. They play a lot of them. Benajay fouled on the way up. Nate Britt called for his 3rd foul. 2-shot opportunity for Benajay, who's had difficulty from the line, to say the least. 49% for the year. He's missed his only try tonight. And he made the point after the game Saturday, saying to Carroll lost on night, noticed it during the game. If he misses the first one, the second one looked dramatically different. You can see how much higher that one was. He made it. Said he doesn't do that in practice, but he knows he needs to find some consistent mechanics and stick with it.
Well, hey, we've all been there at the line. You've gone through a spell where it just doesn't feel right, and you're searching for anything to get you on the right track. That's not a formula for success over the long run. You just need to trust your practice, trust your routine, trust the shots you shoot every day.
Tokido, and it's tipped in by Johnson. 16 for Bryce Johnson.
And that's where B.J. Johnson's just at a disadvantage. He needs to get strong and do everything he can to keep Bryce Johnson off the boards.
Cooney splits the defense, then trying to go with the up and under and got rejected. And the crowd can sense it now. B.J. Johnson called for a foul in the backcourt. Marcus Page, the free throw shooter, 82% for the year. Best free throw shooter in Carolina history, 85.4 for his career. He has 15 tonight.
And just look at the faces of the Syracuse Orange, Cooney and Chris. You know they're exhausted, and deservedly so. They've played their hearts out. They've competed, and that's a tough order to do that for 40 minutes on the road.
Benajay scores. Timeout Syracuse. 13 for Benajay. 7-point game. 1:25 to go. Time for Did You See That? Brought to you by Verizon. And Carolina fans will be talking about what they saw tonight from Nate Britt. A career high 16 points and 4 3-point field goals.
Well, it's great to see someone besides Marcus Page get hot from out behind the perimeter. If he's hitting shots and you combine that with the pink presence of Bryce Johnson, Kennedy, Meeks, Joel, James, you got to deal with Carolina now down the stretch here.
That would be huge for Carolina if they could find another consistent 3-point shooter alongside Marcus Page. Roy Williams has told us a couple times this year he thinks Justin Jackson could become that, but right now, as a freshman, he's shooting 22% from beyond the 3-point arc.
He will be a great shooter. As I've seen him practice, he's got a nice stroke. Nothing wrong with his stroke. It's a matter of confidence and reps for him right now. But I agree. If they can get Britt and Page to play together in the backcourt, knock down shots, then teams won't know what to take away from them.
Syracuse pressing in the backcourt. Patterson called for the foul, his 3rd. They've been in the double bonus for a while.
See, if I'm Syracuse right now, Carolina has nearly 20 turnovers in this game. I don't necessarily may not want to go for the quick foul. They've thrown the ball all over the court tonight. Just trying to force a steal, get a quick bucket.
I'm not sure if Patterson was trying to foul. He's trying to cut off the sideline. Carolina 14 out of 19 from the line. They've had an up and down night from the line. Made their first 7, missed 5 in a row. Now they've made 7 in a row. And the lead is up to 9. 1:19 to go. Christmas had it taken away by Kennedy Meeks. Carolina just does get it over. And now they'll run some clock. And Britt is fouled by Patterson, his 4th. Barring a disaster, this will be career victory number 741 for Roy Williams, which will tie him for 16th all-time with the legendary Temple coach John Chaney. And get him within 5 of Phog Allen, who's the only Kansas coach who won more games as head coach of the Jayhawks than did Roy Williams. He won 418 games at KU in 15 years. Phog Allen 590.
Well, I'm really excited to see this Carolina team take on Duke and take on Virginia Cavaliers. Those two teams have gotten all the hype in the conference thus far. But Carolina has the talent, they have the coaching, they have the athleticism to throw a wrench in the plans at the top of the ACC. So it's a team that no one's really talking about. I talked to Coach Williams today, and I said, no one's talking about you, Coach. You guys are doing pretty good. And he said, we like it that way. But they have more complete games, and they get a couple more shooters to add to what they're doing. They're a handful. They're going to be in the conversation.
Johnson short with the first free throw. The 85 points, the most allowed by Syracuse this season. And a far cry to last year up at the Carrier Dome when the Heels scored 45 points, the lowest ever, under Roy Williams in his 12 years as head coach at his alma mater. We've talked a lot about the talented Syracuse big man Rakeem Christmas, but Kennedy Meeks is a force inside as well.
Well, he really came out and set the tone early, attacking the paint, putting a lot of pressure on Rakeem Christmas. Rakeem Christmas didn't want to foul out because he knew he had to stay in the game. So Kennedy Meeks had his way down low early. And when Bryce Johnson and Kennedy Meeks are playing strong, playing athletic, playing with force, very few teams in this country can match up with them along the front lines.
Under a minute to go, an 11-point game. Minijay, a 3. 2-on-1 break. Tokido makes the wise choice. Run a little clock with an 8-point lead. Big Monday continues when we're finished here at the Dean Smith Center. On we go for Texas and Iowa State out of the Big 12.
Iowa State's a fun team to watch. They play basketball the way it should be played, up and down. If you're open, shoot it. If you miss, shoot it again. The mayor, Fred Hoiberg, doing a fantastic job.
Tokido's first free throw around the rim and in. 6 points for JP. This is going to be 6 wins in a row for North Carolina. They have shot 50% or better from the floor for the 6th game in a row as well. Cooney the bucket, a chance for 3. He has 25 points.
Trevor Cooney may have gotten away with one right there, stepping out of bounds, but play on, and does a great job finishing the and one. Tell you what, it's a tough combo when Cooney's shooting the way he is and Rakeem Christmas doing work down low. That's a nice combo. That's something you can build off of. They get, like you said earlier, another contribution from a third member, Benijay or Roberson. You know, I wouldn't count out these Orange. This just looks like it'll be their 3rd loss in conference, but they're a bad team.
Page lays it in. Syracuse pressing. Carolina hits the home run. 20 points for Page. Vinajay. Another board for Meeks. He's fouled by Cooney. Well, the schedule doesn't let up for Syracuse. They have a little bit of rest. They're not in action next till the home game against Virginia Tech on February 3rd. But they have most of the iron in this league still to be played down the stretch. That's the final 7. And Virginia Tech, Pittsburgh, and Boston College, and then it really gets tough. Duke, Louisville, and Pittsburgh coming to the Dome. Then they go to Notre Dame and back to Duke. Virginia goes to the Dome in our last big Monday of the season on March 2nd, and they'll close out the regular season at NC State. Jim Boeheim said, yeah, it's tough, but it's also a great opportunity.
Exactly.
Get some big
Exactly.
wins.
If you're a competitor, you want that tough schedule. This is why you play in the ACC, to play the big boys. Test yourself against the best.
Christmas tries a 3. Why not? With his team down by 10 in the final seconds. First 3-point attempt of the season for Rakeem Christmas. Tokeno called for the foul. Meanwhile, North Carolina winners of 6 in a row now, and 11 out of 12, and it was just a 1-point loss to Notre Dame, the only defeat in that stretch. They have a tough one. They had a great game here with Louisville when they rallied from behind to beat the Cardinals a couple weeks ago. They go to the Yum Center on Saturday on ESPN. Then Virginia. On the road to Boston and Pittsburgh and Duke. Well, their schedule's tough too. When you're in this conference, the schedule's tough.
Oh, that's great.
In the case of Syracuse, it's really backloaded. I mean, they played all of the likely to be lesser teams.
Sean, it makes you feel alive. It makes you feel alive to test yourself against the best. And if you're not up for it, you know what? There are other conferences. There are other conferences that I'm sure that fit your game.
Well, Cooney has matched his season high with 28 points. He got the ball back. Syracuse battling all the way to the end here. Another foul with 9.2 to go. Cooney has earned his shower. We mentioned it the other day. The what ifs. What if Jeremy Grant and Tyler Ennis had returned as many thought they would, particularly Ennis. McCullough didn't get hurt. Dajuan Coleman out for the 2nd year in a row with knee surgery. He's on this trip. He's working out and looks terrific. They're hopeful he'll be back next year. There's Dajuan, talented big man, a lot of knee problems. Page the takeaway, and that'll do it. North Carolina has won 6 in a row. And 2 longtime great friends shake hands, golf buddies. Final score, North Carolina 93, Syracuse 83. Now for Allison Williams, Shane Battier, and our terrific crew, led by our producer Eric Mosley, director Jeff Evers, Sean McDonough saying so long from Chapel Hill. Now to Brent Musburger.